So yesterday we have started with the basics like what is Informatica and what are the tools that are used in Informatica and why it is used and what is the importance of Informatica. And we have also seen what is ETL. E means extract, T means transform, L means load. So transforming the existing data and creating into a target table as per our business requirement or your client requirement, right? So this is what the entire ETL activity will work on. Now today we will start with some basics like how the data getting stored. And I am see, if you already know this concept, that well, that's well and good, but if you don't know, this is very advantage for you. And for few people who are looking for this concept for the very first time, this will really help you a lot. So most of my sessions will be like a I will consider that the person is not aware of this subject, so in that way I will be walking you through that. So, for example, if I take one website, let me take a website like Facebook. First of all, let me Google Facebook or Instagram, whatever it might be. So, for example, if you take any Facebook or any application, first it will ask you for the email address and password to log in. And if you don't have an account, it will ask you to sign up. If you click on sign up, let me change the language quickly. I'm not sure why it is picking up the location, but that's fine. If we sign up, it will ask your first name, last name, email address, and certain details like your date of birth, everything, and then your gender. And then after you sign up, it will ask for your password as well. So entire this information has to save somewhere. So from next time onwards, whenever you log in, automatically it should allow you to log in directly, right? So that is what the actual use of this any websites. So if you take any website, for example, are you like you might be using Facebook in your mobile, so we have never logged in recent times, so we have never logged in. Automatically the username and password are saved inside that automatically, right? Why it has saved and how it is retrieving that information in fraction of seconds means it will be having username besides that password, and entire information will be saved into a database. Okay, so how does it look like? For example, if I take walk you through in this way. Completed. Okay, so if I take one table, in this table only entire information like your name, your email, and then your password, and then your date of birth, and one more column with your gender, and one more column with your some other information like location. All this information will be saved in a table format. If you have signed up for the first time, your name will be saved here, and your email address will be saved here, and your password, and your date of birth, and your gender, and your location. Okay, so these three things will be saved here. This of all the table will be filled entirely. So this is one row. Whenever a new row is inserted in database, they will try to create one natural feature. What is that natural feature is they will add two more columns before this. Okay, so first column will be serial number or index or ID. For this user, imagine the username is A. For this user, the roll number will be, let us take something like 1. He is the first user who got signed up. So his his ID we can say instead of serial number, we can say it is his ID. So it is 1. And along with that, date of sign up, when he has registered, date of sign up. So it might be something like if you take today's date, so if he has signed up today, it will be 4th Jan. Okay, and this will be an entire single row, right? and there are chances that a name can repeat across the globe. Name can repeat, and email address will not repeat, but password is, there are chances, date of birth there are chances, gender there are chances, location there are chances. So email address will be the unique one for each person. So in this case, what you can consider is email address is the key, the unique one which will be available in across your database, that we can consider it as a key. So this entire table, this table will be stored in one location. Okay, that location is called as database. Usually databases are represented like this. Okay, so we call it as database. In for example, there are multiple databases across the globe, not one or two, there are hundreds of databases. But your Excel file is also a database, right? Because in your Excel file, you are writing some information and saving that information to one location, either on your desktop or on some other location. So that is also a database. So database, in short, if you want to understand database in a short manner, database is a combination of, this is one table, right? This is table 1. In the same way, there will be another table also called as table 2, then table 3. Multiple tables will be there. So database is a combination of multiple tables. Okay, so those tables can contain multiple information. In coming classes, we will see like how we will save information to tables and how we can take data from those tables. All this information we will discuss in coming classes, right? So mostly we will be handling the data with this databases, and there are multiple databases. Among them, heterogeneous databases are there. They are like Excel, CSV files, and the local text files. Okay, and also you will have some local files like SQL files. And when you move to cloud, you have Azure files, you have AWS, and in Azure also you have multiple like Azure Data Factory, where you will have multiple things like database will also be there, and all these ETL activities will also be there. Along with that, in Azure you have one more thing like Azure Blob Storage. So this is also one of the database. Along with that, in AWS you have Amazon Redshift. I'm sure, like if you're not sure about AWS, Amazon Web Services. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. From there you will be picking up. So don't worry if you are not able to remember all these names, but my main agenda is like we have to understand the concept of database. Okay, so we have to understand the concept of database and the different tables, how they are created. So whenever you are logging in back to your Facebook account, what it will do, it will check the username and the password. It will combine those two things and create one key here. Okay, this they can call it as key something. So which contains username plus password. If this is matching, then it will allow you to log in. If this is not matching, then it will not allow you to log in. Very simple. So every data, every machines, every Facebook or any social media or anything, banking, anything will be working on the same concept. Like they will create one key which is having username and password combination, and they will use that to allow you to log in, right? Now you may get a doubt, like for example, from database is a backend. We can't see where Facebook is saving your information. For example, if you sign up here, where the data will go and save, we don't know. Okay, but to get that, for every time you have to get that whenever you log in. Whenever you log in, when you provide, just a sec, when you provide same username and password, it should allow you to log in, right? So how it is allowing you, how, why it is allowing you very fast? You can see Facebook or Instagram or banking. uh, like we can see that, for example, if you see few private banks like HDFC, Axis, there the login will be fast. In SBI the login will be little bit slow. Okay, why? Because database, there is no effect of databases. Any database each bank or each company can use, but the effect is of the server. You might have seen this message like server down sometimes whenever you are trying to log in. So when you click on this login button, what it will do, it will try to connect to the database. Okay, so while connecting to the database, it required a server. Server is the only median between this front end. This is called as front end. Front end is nothing but what we are seeing at our in front of our screen. This is called as front. So from connecting from front end to the database, we require a tool called as server. So depends upon the company size. Facebook is a very big company. Microsoft is a very big company. Google is a very big company. If you search for like simply Google search, so how fast the results are, how it is happening? Because of the strong servers. Servers low, sorry, in servers what they will do is they will add more amount of capacity. Okay, depends upon that server. If the server is down for 1 minute, for example, Microsoft server was down last 3 to 4 months back. Microsoft server was down for half an hour. That's it, 30 minutes only. But it was a very like breaking news across the industry, and there were stocks collapsed because Outlook was not working, Teams was not working for 30 minutes. So servers are very important in that way. So depends upon the server capacity, you will be allowed to connect to the database. Clear? Let me take a pause for a second. Let me know if you have any questions till here.
Sir.
Cool. Great. Thanks. So this is how the database is working on. In databases, these tables are called as multiple tables. There are fact tables and the dimension tables, and there are multiple concepts in that. But we have to create relationship between the tables as well. For example, if I take one more example, you have two tables. One table contains information like employee ID, employee name, and employee address. This is one table, like one employee name is A, employee address is Bangalore. And you have another table like this. Here you will have three informations. Let us consider. Here you have employee ID and employee salary and employee joining date when they have joined into the organization. So you have this information as well. So here also employee ID 1, employee salary is something like 20K, and employee joining date is let us take 4th Jan. Okay, so if you observe these two tables, this is called as table 1, this is called as table 2. If we observe these two tables, we will be creating relationship between these two tables. How we will be creating relationship? And not only just relationship, if we want to combine these two tables, we will be combining them with the help of this key. This is called as a primary key. With the help of this key, because employee ID is common in both the tables, with the help of this key we will be creating. And always we have to look for a unique column, okay, where you don't have any duplicates. In this column you will not get duplicates. Employee ID column, employee name, there are chances of duplicates. Employee address, there are chances. Employee salary, there are chances. Employee joining date, there are chances. So employee ID will be the unique key that will help us to create connection between those two tables. So these type of connections we will be making going forward. And those connections and what are the different models or schemas like star schema and snowflake schema, which schema is used where, all these parts we will discuss in coming classes, right? So right now, like as I have mentioned yesterday, Oracle SQL is the basic for Informatica and IICS. Why? Because the transformations that we are going to do on the tables, understand this point very clearly. Transformation is nothing but we are transforming the existing data into another format. Okay, so we will be transforming this existing data into another format. How we will be transforming that? We will be using different transformations options available in Informatica. And what we are going to do after the transformation is, like, if you have table 1, table 2, table 3, you may bring table 1 and table 2 together, or you may bring only table 1 into the target location, or you may bring only table 3 into the target location, or table 1 and table 3 as well. Something, some kind of requirements as per your business requirement. If you take in the example of this, here you have a requirement like, if your business end user is saying, I want to see the salary of employee A, I want to see the salary of employee A. In that case, you can say employee A, to see his salary, this is here. Without this connection, sorry, without this connection, it cannot understand employee A salary is 20,000, because these two are in two different tables. So this kind of relationships are required, and we will see what are the different available relationships, and how we can create that schemas as well in the coming sessions. So as I was saying, like, SQL is the basic. So I will be writing the class notes here. You don't worry, like, no need to note it down from your end. Don't write any notes. You can just write some bullet points if you want, but mostly I will be providing the notes here. I will type it here, and I will share the notes after the sessions. If you want, you can make a copy of it and you can also write down, but it's up to you. But I suggest, like, because I will be typing a bit fast, so it will be difficult for you to write along with me, so try to follow me what I am talking here. Right. So I am saying about Oracle SQL. Oracle SQL is the basic for Informatica, and most of the in most of the ETL tools, right? Like, for example, let me write some points here about the pointers that we have discussed. There are multiple ETL tools available in market, but the most commonly used ETL tools are, first is Informatica, second is Talent, and third is SSIS. Okay, so these three are majorly used. SSIS is nothing but SQL Server Analysis Service. Okay, so earlier there is a package called as MSBI. This is just for your knowledge, so I am not going to write in this notes. So there is a package called as MSBI. MSBI is stands for Microsoft Business Intelligence. Okay, Microsoft Microsoft Business Intelligence. It is a combination of three different tools which are SSAS, SSIS, and SSRS. A stands for analysis, analytical. I stands for integration, and R stands for reporting. Okay, rest of the three SS stands for same. SQL Server Services. Only these three will change. This is just for your knowledge. If you can remember, that's well and good. This is a complete different topic and different story. We'll see if you get some time. We will discuss about that as well in basic, right? So these three are the majorly used. And as I have mentioned, there are multiple formats of SQL. Few among them are: first is MySQL, next is Microsoft SQL, next is Amazon. Redshift is a database. Let us take, instead of that, we can call it as PostgreSQL. And next is Oracle SQL. And next is like PLSQL. And next is SQL Lite. Okay, so etc. These are few types of different SQLs that are available in the market. What is the major difference between each SQL is like, uh, only the syntax will be the difference. Syntax is nothing but, for example, if you are writing a query, like for example top 3 in PostgreSQL or Microsoft SQL, we will be using like select top 3 star from table name. Okay, so this is the top 3, but in some other SQL it will be select star from table underscore name, limit 3. This is for other type of SQLs. Okay, so this is one simple example. Don't worry about those select statements and all. We will discuss that in coming sessions. So these are the different SQLs. And Informatica.
Good morning, sir. Sorry for the interruption. I'm Swati.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I would like to share my experience regarding tech weather technology. So, shall I?
uh, yeah,
If you give
sure.
me 5 minutes.
Sure, I will give you within 10 minutes. Will that be fine?
Yeah, actually, I have a meeting within 10
Okay.
minutes. So, I will
Okay.
finish it up in 5 minutes only.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, hello all. Yeah, this is Swati. I'm from Kadapa. So, I have been working in Infosys as a technology analyst. So, since 2 years, I'm working in Infosys. So I would like to share my experience with you all. First of all, I would like to thank Sunil sir for establishing TechVeda technologies and exploring us to a new world. So here I have no experience in the software side. Even computer side, don't have any knowledge. But after coming to this institution, so I learned a lot. I learned a lot. So I would like to so sorry. So here they will support and they will give us splendid support since the starting of my learning till now. So thank you for pushing us to our limits. So your relentless pursuit of excellence has made us realize our true potential, and you have shown us that we are capable of achieving greatness. So thanks a lot again. I am thanking very much for Sunil sir and all the staff of the institution. So this institute was different from others because at the first meet only, Sunil sir will check us. So he will observe our communication skills, our basic knowledge, and they clearly explain about each and everything. So they don't force us to select the particular course. They will just support and encourage our elected course, and they will provide clear notes point to point which help us a lot in the coaching time, also during our employment. Even we get material. So if you have any doubts, we can ask anytime. We can contact to Sunil sir or other staff anytime and ask regarding our doubts. So trainer will be very supportive, even clear any doubts in depth we have regarding the topics. So they will help us to learn the subject and crack the interview even on our own. So you can all the best for you all, and thank you and welcome to the software industry also. So this institute has very friendly atmosphere. They were very responsible. So all the best everyone. Thank you for the time, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for those kind words. It really boosts up our energy. We are doing this we are keeping our efforts apart from our daily schedules. We are keeping our efforts, and these kind of words will really boost us to work more. Like only agenda, like all of us, like me or Sunil or any others in this institute, the only agenda is like we have struggled after our graduation to get a job. Okay, at that time, like it was very tough as well. Every time it is very tough, I know. Even in your time, it is very tough because of the recession, everything. We have seen the challenge, like where is the gap between industry requirement and the people. So that is how we will be training, and most of our students, I can proudly say that, like most of our students have cracked their interview of their own. Okay, our agenda is not like running behind money. Even though the call is getting recorded, I'm just open in this point. Like our agenda is not like running behind the money. Like student or person has to survive in that industry. See, getting
Yes,
job
yes.
is like in 1 month or 2 months activity, but surviving is very important. So you have to survive in that industry. So for that reason, we are keeping all our efforts. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yes, with this support only I'm surviving since 2 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
great,
thank you,
great, great,
thanks a lot.
great to know that. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. I'm leaving the
sure, sure,
drive.
sure, sure. Okay, let's continue. As I was saying, like there were multiple SQL formats available across the globe. A few companies will use, depends upon their budget. All SQL is nothing but a database. Okay, so these are all the multiple databases. But PostgreSQL SQL is something like the format, but the database will be Amazon Redshift or some other databases. Don't worry if you are not able to remember all these concepts. Just these are for your knowledge purpose, but if you can remember, that's well and good. We are going to discuss the formats of Oracle SQL only. Okay, in Informatica we will be using Oracle SQL. It's not like Informatica can't connect with other SQLs, but most of the organizations, 90% plus, will be working on this combination of Oracle SQL plus Informatica ETL tool, right? In Informatica, we'll be using Oracle SQL as the database. Okay. So in this Oracle SQL, how we will be going to connect that? We may need to install our Informatica software for that. Okay, and before that, we will see few basics about SQL. I know, like you already know the meaning of full form of SQL. What is full form of SQL?
Structured query language.
Exactly. So SQL is nothing but structured query language. Okay, so one of the beauty and one of the great thing about SQL is like SQL will help you to write your queries in a normal English statement, in a kind of a normal English statement. Little bit syntax will be involved and you will be moving things here and there, but if you understand and if you go through that SQL statement, you will understand that very clearly. Okay, and when we come to SQL, we will have different modules, but before that I will try to show you how this Informatica we are going to connect. For example, I have Informatica shortcut. This is the application that we have installed. You will also get this software installed in your machine, but there is one requirement for that. So system requirements, install Informatica. So RAM, it should be more than 8 GB, and C drive should have more than 70 GB free. Okay, C drive should have more than 70 GB free. And in the same way, if you are buying any new laptop, try to, if you are buying new laptop, buy SSD instead of HDD. Okay, SSD will perform fast when compared to HDD. If you want to learn this concept as well, like what is difference between SSD and HDD, it's a big story. But if you want to understand that in a very short method, for example, if you are opening any application, what will happen in your laptop is it will take the RAM support. Okay, it will take the RAM support and it will open any application when it is connected to HDD. Only RAM will be helping. And if you have 10 to 15 applications opened, if you are opening 16th application, this 8 GB memory will be full. So in that case, your laptop will become very slow and it will not open any application quickly. So it will face the challenge of opening any application when it is a combination of RAM plus HDD. In this combination, only RAM helps to open any application. Okay, but if it is a RAM plus SSD, here what will happen, in your hard disk there will be some free space. Okay, if you take your C drive or any drive, there will be free space. For example, let me show you in my machine. So I have some 218 GB of free space. I have 500 GB entire in one single location. So 218 GB of free space. Now what it will do, my machine is a SSD laptop. So here it will use some amount of RAM and some amount of available free space in hard disk, which is SSD hard disk. Hard disk types, these two are SSD and HDD means. Okay, so it will be using this combination of both. So this will really help you to perform any application fast. So if you are buying, don't uh, throw your existing laptop and buy new one. If you are buying, then go for it. And if at all there is a chance that you can upgrade your laptop from HD to SSD, and if your budget is permitting, then you can also go for that. But for SSD, 8 GB RAM is enough. For HDD, it is suggested to have at least 16 GB. Okay, for this HDD. Why? Because here you can see, if it is RAM plus HDD, only RAM helps to open the application. So in that context, it is better if we can use something like 16 GB for HDD. Cool. So I will try to walk you through how it looks like, but I am not going to take you into the details today. So I will just show you. So it will be opening in a virtual machine. What is a virtual machine? So virtual machine is nothing but, for example, you are working for Bank of America. Let us imagine you are working for Bank of America. The head office will be there itself, and you are working from India operations team, India team. So whenever you are working from this location, to access their data, they will not give permission to your email address. For example, if you join any company, like you have joined TCS, your name at the rate of tcs.com will be your email address. They will not give access to your name at the rate of tcs.com. Why? Because that is a data security issue. First of all, when you join any project, they will create your own email address. What is that email address? Is like their enterprise ID. As I have said, from TCS you have joined to Bank of America. First of all, you will have one laptop from TCS. In that laptop, you will log in with your name at the rate of tcs.com email address. Once you log in, then they will create one another email address like your name at the rate of bankofamerica.com. That is the project related email address. That email address will be valid only for maybe for 1 year or 2 years, depends upon the project duration, right? Once you have that email address, then what they will ask you to is, they will provide you one virtual machine like this. VMware is a company which will help you to create this type of virtual machines. Okay, right now there is a virtual machine that we have created for Informatica, which is Windows XP. We are using here, but in real time we will be using multiple like virtual machines. We are using Windows 10, Windows 11 as well. Here we have Windows XP for the only for the Informatica purpose. So if you can see, you can minimize this. Okay, if you minimize this is a complete new desktop. Okay, if we minimize this, then we are back to our regular desktop where we were discussing all the information. But if you go to this virtual machine, here you have another world. This is a completely new desktop. So this is how your companies will going to provide you as well. They are not going to provide you. So here, as of now, in this case, I am logged in with a simple similar like with a sample name. But in real time, what will happen? To log in, here you will be logging in to your laptop using TCS ID. After TCS ID, here you will be logging in using your Bank of America ID. This is what I mean is, right? So you have a software called as SQL Server, SQL Developer for Oracle. We will look into this maybe from after 2 or 3 days, but let us discuss basics about SQL first, then we will get into this stuff, right? This is the application which we are going to use in coming classes, and we are going to create tables like this is the source database, this is the target database. So this type of databases we'll be using and we'll be creating. But before getting into that, let us discuss few things about SQL, and we will understand few few concepts in SQL. Then only we will move to the advanced part of in SQL using this Oracle, right? So just a sec, please. Right. So as I have said, SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and SQL is used mostly for this. SQL is used mostly in RDBMS. Okay. Anyone? Any idea what is full form of RDBMS?
Relational management system.
Yes. So RDBMS is Relational Database Management System. Okay. So SQL is used mostly in storing or manipulating RDBMS data. Okay, relational database management system. Why this relational database management system is like, if you have seen this same example, here you have table 1 employee ID and table 2 employee ID. We can create relationship between these two tables and fetch information accordingly. So whenever you have this type of data where you can create relationship and fetch back your information, we'll call, or most of them are called as relational database management systems. Okay, and there is another concept called as DBMS, where you don't have any common column, you don't have any relationships that you can create. That is just called as database management system. So SQL will be used for this concept mostly. And as I have said, there are different types of SQL, and we will be concentrating on this SQL, right? Now the major part, the very important part in SQL is the types of or formats of commands. Like there are different formats of commands that we will be using. And before that, let me write some advantages of SQL quickly. So I have them documented here. I will quickly walk you through that so that I should not miss any point. So let's like few advantages of SQL. First thing is high speed. Okay, it will help you to run the commands very fastly. Next, coding will be user friendly. Okay, script or scripting SQL commanding, we can call it as, it will be user friendly. And then well defined standards, and then we can call it as interactive language. Like same, the interactive language also comes under user friendly only, right? So these are few advantages I can say, and the scripting will be easy. So this is one most common thing. Now you will have the major important question. So I will mark few questions using this star mark. Okay, depends upon the number of stars you can consider, like what is the importance or how important that question is. Okay, so this question is very important. Like your first question, when it starts with SQL in your interview, they will start with this question. The question is, what are the different types of SQL commands? Okay, what are the different types of SQL commands? So all the SQL commands are divided into mostly there are many more commands, but the most important commands are divided into 5 parts. Okay, they are called as DDL, and then DML, and then DQL, DCL, and TCL. Okay, you can remember them in any order as per your convenience. I will tell you what all this stands for. DDL stands for data definition language. Okay, in this definition means we will be defining that language. So in this you have a commands like create, drop, alter, truncate. These are the commands that we will be using in DDL. Next you will have data manipulation language. Manipulating means existing data, like if you have some existing data, we are modifying or doing some changes to that existing data. Here we will be using commands called as insert, update, delete. Okay, so this is the manipulation. Next you have data query language. So here you have only one command called as select. Querying means fetching the data from any particular location. Next DCL is data control language. Here you have to grant and revoke. So controlling language is nothing but like you are controlling the access to that particular information. Okay, so if you are the owner of any table, if you have created one table, your teammate want to access that. Okay, if you are creating one table, it doesn't mean that it is you are creating that only for you. Your teammates will also need to access that. And if you are a database person, if you create one table, reporting person should also use that. So in that case you have to give them permission. So to give them permission we will be using grant. So if you use grant, it will be giving permission to that end user. But if that person left the organization or your project, if that person leave the organization or your project, then you have to take it back from him. So for that we will be revoking that, right? Next you have, so this you will be transaction control language. So how the transaction need to be saved, how we have to look into the transaction, we will be using this transaction control language. You will have few commands like commit, rollback, and save point. So these are the commands for this transaction control language. So commit means if you have done some changes here, if you run this commit command, then those changes will be saved. If you roll back, if you have done some changes like deleting some rows or something, if you want to get that back, you will be getting that back. And save point, you will be saving at a certain location of the number of rows. We will see, depends upon the time permissions, like we will see if we can go through this all the commands. But from tomorrow onwards, we will see like what are these commands and how they are used. We will see in the open forum of SQL, because I know Informatica is not installed in all of your laptops as of now. You have to reach to institute people, like they will help you, institute management. They will help you to install Informatica in your laptops. But for time being, I will walk you through the available open sources of SQL. There are browser-based SQL sources. We will learn SQL in that. Then once Informatica is installed in your laptops, then we will open Oracle SQL. There we will start learning the same. Okay, cool. Then I will be stopping here for today. We will continue from tomorrow onwards. Like, let me know if you have any questions.